What up, people? So, buddy,
Mm-hmm.
been doing these podcasts now, however many episodes. I've been enjoying it. But we have to get down to the nitty gritty here of things that we love, which are movies.
Of course.
And we've picked 3 movies. One I haven't watched. I will get around to it. Okay, I will watch it. Okay, people. 3 inspiring movies and the story behind it, and we're going to give you our take of the two or three things about those movies that really made a difference in our lives, but also taught us something, and that can teach you guys. And those 3 movies are Rocky, The Pursuit of Happiness, and The Wolf of Wall Street. Start off with Rocky. You know, and the story's great. If you haven't watched it, you're a bit slow. But the thing is that it actually did teach me a lot. Watching it again older, and more mature, and understanding, and obviously knowing the story of Sylvester Stallone. Their favorite parts of the film, but what it actually meant to us and what it created for us and the opportunities. And I think 2 things here. I'll ask you questions based on it. Pretty much, I've written down here the Rocky story solidifies and signifies the underdog and working hard. And how can we interpret this into being successful? It happens to the best of us.
It does.
So my question to you is, if you are the underdog, which in most cases, most successful people are the underdog, how does that make you a better person? One, and how does being the underdog... Well, I guess it ties into working hard.
It does too.
Right? So how does being the underdog impact your life, and how does it impact your success?
You've got nothing to lose. That's pretty much it. With underdog, it's always taught me with that film. Again, as I got older, I started to see it in a different perspective. And what I found was, with the underdog, you've got nothing to lose, because I'm not saying you have nothing, but also you, from the state of your living, where being an underdog, you keep thriving, you keep becoming persistent, you keep having that grit, and with that working hard as well. People put it this way: with being an underdog, there's a lot of people who don't see any potential with you or don't see you becoming successful. And the things with this film, it brings that out, as you can start to see when the beginning of the film to always to the end. You can just see how Sylvester Stallone's living and his resources, what he just had, he used it to his best of ability, and that's pretty much it. And it pretty much was his will that overcame the skill of Apollo Creed near the end of the film. And that's what I found with him working hard, the training sequence, and basically how he was a loan shark and how he was just getting by. With being the underdog, you have something more than anyone else, and that's just...
Well, you've got more to prove.
You've got to move, yeah, of course.
So you initially have more than what another person has. Like, a successful person has more to lose than you do. Apollo Creed is here. Sylvester Stallone is here. So Apollo Creed's at the top of his game. Sylvester Stallone, he's a great fighter, whatever, but whatever, who cares? So he's got nothing to lose. Which makes his work ethic...
Oh, God.
Just... it's just...
unbelievable.
And you have to be that way. You have to be relentless, and your work ethic is what's going to make you that better person as a human being. But it's going to develop the mentality of never quit, and why you should never ever fucking quit on your dreams, because so many people quit on their dreams because, well, they see more of what do we have to lose instead of what can we gain.
Yes, of course. And things with that as well. And you got to look at Stallone, because you look at Apollo Creed. You're right. He has got a lot to lose. And I think when he became successful, he lost that aspect of himself, of that grittiness that he needs.
Of course,
being relentless.
a lot of people do that.
With Stallone, street smart that he was, very street smart, because he grew up in Philadelphia. He was tough. He basically had to go beat up guys for money. Yeah. But the fact is that he had that mentality of, I've got nothing to lose, and pretty much that I've got so much to gain, and I've got so much to prove to myself. And the only support at the end of the day for Stallone was himself, and that's pretty much it. And from where he came from, it's a great story.
Yeah, it is. And I think we can all relate to it because we're all underdogs when we're
starting off.
Because at the end of the day, like, why would you... Like, people, why would they listen to this? We're the underdog here. We've got something for you.
Of course.
But until it gets out there more and more, that's when, we're at that level, more people will listen to it.
And it's more real.
It's more real, yeah.
Like Stallone, that's what I'm saying, a lot of people, when they watch it, or who hasn't watched it, if they understand, Stallone takes a little bit of you and brings you into the film, thinking anyone that's going through this, where you're going through struggles in your life, where you got a crappier house, you got a crappy car, you don't have a car at all, and you're just going by day with insufficient sort of whatever you have, but yet you're still getting up every morning and you're still working your ass off to make it. And that's the main thing.
That's where it is. And I think what you can take from that film also is, a lot of people watch. It's okay to watch films and sometimes zone out so you can give that peace of mind to yourself, or meditate or whatever it is. Sometimes I just watch movies because I've done what I've had to do, or I've had too much to do and I just want to relax and just not think. And sometimes it's good. But these movies, if you have the chance, especially if you're down, sometimes that movie or that book or that video is what tilts you.
Yeah.
And you become lit. And it's like a fire under your ass, and you just get out there and you just want to bang it out, and you just want to do things. For me, like, I get my enjoyment by grinding. Whether it's in my streams, playing games, playing soccer, coaching, work. It's those down times that I find myself, and it's not even my back's against the wall.
No,
it's I've got nothing to lose, and I'm just going to try it.
Yeah,
try it.
That's it.
Try it as much as I can.
That's it. And to finish off on with the Rocky story as well, the whole story came about from when Chuck Wepner was the third person to knock down Muhammad Ali. And this gave the Philadelphia underdog, this is, true story and stuff, gave him a fighting chance against Muhammad Ali, and people saw hope in that guy. But of course, he lost at the end, but it still gave Sylvester Stallone the inspiration to write the Rocky film. Why? Is because he had that shot where he knocked the champion down, and no one had hope in him. And when they saw that, they think, oh my God, he's got a fighting chance. Yeah.
Even if you lose, just giving that fighting chance, going, better watch out for this. Look
guy,
at the Bulldogs. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God, what's the last premiership?
Yeah.
1954.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it's just that last year everyone's like, fuck, they're actually pretty good. Next year they win it. So it's little things like that where you can learn from anything and take it and implement it in your own life.
Exactly. And it's quickly with the Bulldogs, you can see at the MCG, you had a section of just Sydney's Swan supporters,
and they stayed,
but yet you had the whole crowd going for the Bulldogs. Even people who were going for the Adelaide Crows, Collingwood or Essendon, were buying scarves of the Bulldogs. Why? Because it represented that underdog.
It represents the underdog. Part of the pun. The dogs.
The underdogs.
The underdog. They are the underdogs, and it represents so many of us people, and it represents us as human beings, that you can create and be and do and have anything you put your mind to. And I just hope that for people. Second movie, Pursuit of Happiness. Now, I haven't watched it, but two things that we took out of it after discussing it was self-belief and so self-belief and making a decision or having that choice. What's your take on it? Like, what you got out of the film? Because I haven't watched it. I can definitely talk about self-belief and making a decision, but I want to see your take and how people can implement it in their life.
Okay, so with the first one with self-belief, especially in The Pursuit of Happiness, what I really found with that film was, again, Will Smith's character. He had based on a true story, he was that sort of underdog in that sort of mentality. But the thing is with self-belief is that the point of difference was created when he saw a guy rock up in his Ferrari at Wall Street, and he had nothing going for him with Will Smith. He had no money. He had a family to support. He was living in the end of town where it was the majority of it was poor, the Bronx, pretty much. But yet, that self-belief was when he saw that guy and he asked him 2 questions. He asked him, "What do you do, and how can I do that?" And he just said, "I'm a stockbroker."
2 amazing questions.
2 amazing questions. He goes, "Well, I'm a stockbroker. You got to be good with numbers. You got to be good with people, and that's it." And then you see Will Smith's panning around, looking at all these people coming out of the building, and he's saying, "Well," he goes, "one thing they always had was they had a smile on their face. They were happy." And that self-belief started to come out thinking, "I'm going to do this."
Yeah.
Let alone that he had no money. He was to the point that he could have become homeless, which he did in the film, and that he had to support his own son, and he had to carry him around. But yet he had that belief, knowing that the internship took 50 people, and yet they were only needing 1. So again, the chance of having that was it was just minimal for him. I mean, I think having that belief with himself, thinking, "I'm going to do this, not only for myself but for my family."
Well, that's what self-belief creates. When you believe in yourself, and even if you think you have no abilities, but understanding, having the confidence, not the cockiness, but the confidence, allows you to move past barriers.
Yep.
Those boundary conditions that you put in front of you. Having self-belief is saying, "I ain't gonna quit.
No.
I ain't shit at this. I can do it." Even if you lose 1,000 times, you're going to win eventually.
Of course.
And that's the main point.
And in that film, he goes through the obstacles and challenges where he's losing here and there. And that brings to the second thing, which is the decision making, because he made a choice to do that. And that shifted everything, where he was just working his ass off to get that internship for himself. And then near the end of the film, not only that he did get it, but it just brought a tear to your eye that you felt a part of yourself in that film.
Of course, because you can do it.
Yeah.
Most people do. And making a decision whether or not you want to do it or not. It's just that simple.
Either you do or you don't.
That's where true success lies and fulfillment in your life.
You can't have both.
You can't.
There isn't try, there isn't I'll give it a go. It's either you do it or you don't. And the results are going to be different.
It's black and white when it comes to those decisions.
Of course.
You do it or you don't, and that's it. So, if you're at a point in your life where you need to make a decision whether you want to do something or not, just fucking do it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to feel better about yourself.
Of course.
You know what, and the shit that you're going to cop for it, you'll feel better about copping that shit because you're like, so what, I made that decision and I'm going to live by it. You need to make a decision, live by it, and keep grinding it out. That's the main part.
That's it.
Now, the third movie we picked, which is controversial for a lot of people, The Wolf of Wall Street. And 2 points we took out of that. 1, what not to do in business.
Yep.
2, money ain't shit.
Yep.
It ain't about the money. And I'll look, if you don't mind, I'll start off about the money part.
Go for it, dude.
I have found that... Actually, no, I'll start off with how not to do business, and I'll get you to talk about the money part, because you've actually gone through it yourself.
Yeah, of course.
How not to do business. My mentor brought me this book and said, you got to read this. Read it. I still read it to this day, the book. The book has more in it than the movie. A lot of people misinterpret what the movie means. I've met a lot of people that want that lifestyle. Clearly, they don't give a fuck about being humane or anything like that. What not to do in business is so critical.
Of course.
A lot of people want to get into business or start something, but what they don't realize is I always start things when I start off with any venture or whatever I do. I look at what not to do first.
Of course.
So I know what I can do.
Yes. Of course.
The cheating, all that crap, all that bullshit. People let money get to their heads. Let ego overcome who they really are. It takes control of them. And what I learned by what not to do in business in that is invest in your money, not fucking screwing other people over.
Yeah.
Helping people, being a service to people, and solving the problem. That's how you make it in business.
Yes.
In saying that, when you do start, the money starts coming in, learning how to handle it. And you need to have the right people around you to learn how to handle that.
Of course.
Now, the second part, money ain't shit.
Now, the thing is,
it's not about money.
And the thing is, for me, experiencing that, I mean, when I started in my first year, I mean, the clients that were coming in with what I was doing, and then slowly the money was coming in, and then there was a big influx of it as well. And seeing that movie, what I started to realise is that the lifestyle, which is what I wanted. But then the thing is, it wasn't about the cars, but it was also what I knew that, okay, well, I've got all this money. I know I can't go buy a Lamborghini for, but what can I buy with my money? And I started buying suits. I started buying all these gold watches. I started going out more often. I started buying cigars. Started kicking back with people who were in the right mindset, in the sense of they had their own business. They had everything going for them. And what I started to realise was it took control of me to the point that I started to see things, with my mindset of with what I wanted, that the results I was getting, I didn't really enjoy. The fact is that my ego started to come out, and not my genuine self started to come out. And the people I was hanging around with, believe it or not, were business owners, and they will remain nameless. But these are the people that were doing drugs, that were cheating on their mistresses and all that sort of stuff, and they were doing anything to get with girls, and they had the cars, they had the houses, everything like that. And the fact is that there's a deep part of me, deep down, that I was literally blocked, which was that genuine self of mine, of me, that, Terry, this isn't you, dude. Sure, money is great to have, but the fact is that the way you're using it is not right for you.
Yeah, and a lot of people do that.
And that movie, Wolf of Wall Street, was a great example of it, because you can just see they wanted more, to the point that it just imploded within itself. And
because money gives you a status.
Of course.
It says, I'm better than you.
And that's what that movie sort of displayed.
But no one ever said that. No one has actually said, I'm better than you because I've got more money than you. It's passed down by DNA, generations, and people's ego and insecurities of, I want to be better than you, so I've got to make more money than you.
Yes.
Because money's materialistic, which means you can feel it, which means by me having it physically means I'm better than you. But intellect doesn't mean shit. Or me being a better human being, because you can't prove it. People can't feel that. You have to show people doing that.
Exactly. And the thing
is,
that film, it's just how these people were making money, and how Jordan Belfort, who was Leonardo DiCaprio, who was playing Belfort's character, you can just see that he oh my God, such a method actor. He did it so well, and I just believe that with what he was displaying at that time, when the amount of money he was making, even at 26 years old, like he was making $49 million a year, and yet he was $3 million off, and he was still pissed off. And the thing is, I think it was that ungratefulness, but yet he wanted to get even better and better and better, and it just created a monster.
His goal, it all falls apart for you when your conscious goal doesn't meet your unconscious goal. So that subconscious part of you saying, no, you're supposed to be, you can have all this money, but you be a good person, and it conflicts.
It does conflict.
And you have those two wars. It's a massive war in your head.
And things, the karma came to him when he lost everything.
Yeah, of course.
Lost his wife, lost his kids, went to jail, pretty much. And that was the sort of the learning curve he needed to take on, especially.
Yeah, some people, that's their road, but don't take it. That's why we're making these videos. You say, here's a little bit of a better way of doing it. You don't have to wait until something happens in order for you to start your life.
Yeah.
So
money's great to have, but it isn't everything.
It's not everything. Money makes you live. That's how you live.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So it puts food on the table, and that's the main priority, for both of us too, is putting food on the table for our loved ones. But on an end note, as we end this cast here, is if you want to do anything in life, it doesn't matter what it is, you got to have a clear-cut goal. We both believe that. And that goal has to be greater than you. When people put money into it and saying the goal is money, I'll give you $1 if you want. Give me your bank details. I'll put money into your account. You're automatically richer than 75% of fucking the world anyway.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So in saying that, money is actually nothing. It doesn't mean shit, especially when going into business. Yes, you need to have money to have a good business, to run it, to employ people, but people don't realize that is when you start a business, you're actually employing someone, you're actually putting food on someone else's table. People don't want that responsibility. So
and things with that, and with the lifestyle, and in my opinion as well, and on my end as well, with the lifestyle, yes, you can have that lifestyle. It's fantastic. It's great. Reward yourself at the end of the day. Reward yourself by going out and buying the cars, going out and buying certain things for yourself, but don't be connected to it saying that's my status, that is me.
It's not the be all end all.
No,
it's not, because money comes and goes. People say money doesn't grow in trees. For these people, money does grow in trees. They create their own trees, they plant the seeds, and they create that income.
That's it.
So I've always disagreed money doesn't grow on trees because you can always find a way, you know, especially with these bastards out there these days. But don't do it. Don't do it for that. Don't do it because of your ego and you want to be better than someone else. If you're in it to be better than other people, you will rise to the top very quickly.
Yeah.
But when you fall, you'll stay there. You actually won't pick yourself back up because your ego is far greater than you, and that's, you know, people's downfall. But I want to say thank you to everyone.
That's it. Thanks,
and
everyone.
make sure to like, subscribe, hit thumbs up,
Yep.
share it with your friends. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you do, because we want to spread a message. And if we don't spread the message, it's no point, is it? We want to help you bastards, don't we? But thank you guys, and